Before I kick this one off, guys, this video is sponsored by dathost.net. If you're looking for high quality CSGO or TeamSpeak servers, make sure to check them out with the link in the description. We'll get 10% off using the code ELMAPUDDY. Hey guys, what is going on? We're looking at attacking the A side of Dust 2 today from short. Looking at a couple of executes I really like we've seen a couple of pro teams use before the player breaks. It'll be interesting to see what they come up with afterwards. But to start off with, we're going to be looking at these ones today and how they're a little bit different to the standard variety you see. Smoke CT, flash over, molly onto site maybe, and just push. And there's a couple of little small things changed, especially with this first one here, where it's really just one piece of utility that Gobby throws in. But I really like it because it forces the AWP off this position. And that's the first thing to understand, is if you're an AWPer from car, whatever, you're going to hold this line, right? Where you can see both the players drop into CT and also anyone running out short. So a very strong line, obviously quite easy to flash yourself off. But if you're going to throw the smoke Tabson's about to throw, well, the reason behind it is basically just to force the AWPer off. We can see this from Nifty's reaction right now. Is yes, is forced to hold out a little bit wider. So what can't he do right now? Well, he can't watch the CT drop if any players do want to drop down. Obviously, Az is going to find out about first anyway, so it's not a huge problem for him in this scenario. But that's the reason for this progression smoke coming out from the CT side. It's basically to force this AWPer away. And you're seeing the execute come in right now, and there's the interesting piece of utility, that smoke right there, which Gobby actually ended up throwing. It's forced Nifty away. He has no strong angle he can flash himself onto and re-peek. And you can see the Renegade side's forced just to hold long. This is a good CT setup right now. If they hold long control, they can probably retake this a little bit easier. But overall, pretty good round from Big getting onto the site, even though they actually made a mistake in its execute, which I will cover in a second. Obviously, I'm going to show you all the POVs, and the mistake obviously comes probably more from Tabson this one, even though it's more obvious from Tizian's point of view. So he's going to try and smoke CT here. Tabson gets in the way, which means there's no CT smoke. Then he's going to flash below the ledge there so they can all still run out, and then he's going to Molotov Goose. And I'll show you all how to do them in a second because it is quite simple how he lines that up. You're just going to execute onto the site. So very simple take overall from the first player. So the next player is obviously Tabson. I'm going to show you his nades. I'm going to show you just on the thing here because I think you guys can work it out from the demo. You're going to line it up with that decal on the wall. Just pause it if you don't know how to throw that. Probably simple enough for you guys to work that one out. And obviously the progression smoke, we talked about how that affects how Nifty wants to move. Before he then basically simply just lines up one that bounces off the wall. The easy way for him to do that is you notice he did use the antenna. And this is where he stuffs up. Obviously the smoke hits him and this flash is very basic. And he gets stuck before eventually jumping down to his death. So not the easiest POV to watch there from Tabson. Probably the one making a bit of a mistake in this one, getting a little bit stuck with his movement. But you can see what he does and the idea behind he's a player dropping CT and applying pressure from that part of the map. If that smoke lands, it's probably a little bit easier for him as well. Just going to quickly interrupt the POVs to show you the utility you need to throw. So the left hand side of this roller door, you're going to find yourself in this corner. You're going to aim at the top left of this blue banner here, which is obviously just out from the wall. That's going to be both your smoke and your flash for CT, which will land if someone doesn't get in the way of it, like Tabson. And the progression of smoke you should have worked out, but middle of this gate, you're going to find the decal above this window, which is right there. Just aim at that. It's pretty easy to throw that one. Lands like so. Also one way if you're feeling a little bit more adventurous. Now the Molotov's the hard part, so you're going to line yourself against this wall to get to the top of the stairs. You're going to find the antenna sticking up, and then where the smoke is stopped, so it's going to look something like this. It's got a little bit of a run through, and let that one fly. And this is good because this is the one that's going to spread into the corner. Eventually that one was a little bit slow. Normally it spreads faster than that. But you can see it's going to really get that player playing in Goose. And the same thing goes for the one on site. It's a little bit easy to learn, so I'm not going to do progressively, but it's going to be basically the same thing. Left side of the antenna, so it doesn't really matter how wide you are. It's pretty general. It's going to land on the site. So that's all the utility. I thought I'd quickly show you it because that's really useful. Even in a solo queue, if you want to throw these smokes, these Molotovs, really useful just to play by yourself almost. Now the next player with the smoke, which is obviously one that's new, the one I really like is obviously Gobby. He's going to line himself up against the chicken roller door we talked about before. Top of the banner, run forward till he hits the top of that A and do a jump throw. And that's going to land all the way across. We saw it affected Nifty, forcing him to fall away, making things very awkward for him. He's then also going to be the last one flashing, which you'll see the players will turn away from. And he's going to Molotov off car. And basically this just makes things very awkward for anything like Nifty or anyone trying to play that angle because there's not really much they can do. Molotov car there, smoke in the way. You're basically forced back down long, and they have to play retake, which I showed you they already are. So that's Gobby's utility. That's the utility I really want to show you, because that's what makes this take unique to every other short take we've previously seen. Smooya and Next work a little bit of mid-control earlier on. You can see Next is going to molly off, or smoke off the left-hand side rather. I'm struggling to find my words today, but he's going to just walk out here, find himself in the corner, while Smooya walks down, trying to look for some kind of pick. And it's going to basically apply pressure to this mid area. And that's basically their whole role in this strat. Smooya throws nothing actually up short. Next does throw one flash, but you can see as they start to walk out here, Molotov off as they're on the boost, denying any kind of information like so. So they could re-smoke, so Az has to be aware that they could potentially be setting up for a mid to B, and that's almost what it looks like when you're going to throw a Molotov like so. Nexus role, as I said, he is the entry in this scenario, and he's just going to throw that flash we all know about, throwing it over the top, before eventually going with the rest of the flashes from his teammate, spamming where he thinks Nifty could be. He doesn't turn away from Gobby's flash, but he's going to walk up here and basically be the entry fragger in this role. He's going to find himself up here before moving away. And I may as well talk about the afterplant scenario in this situation. Now, obviously, Smooya is back here. His job is to lock down short primarily, and they really are fighting all the players coming from long and CT, and they know they have to do this. So when you look at how Gobby's going to face with the rest of his teammates, he's going to flash down, and they're really going to challenge this once they sit the utility. So the Molotov lands to separate the take. Gobby's going to peek up at the same time as Nex, and they're really going to do a good job of trying to fight this together. They do start to lose the fights. Things don't always go your way. Gobby's going to find one. But notice they fight together. They're not just all sitting down on short because they will get utiled off. Smooya's able to find the final player, and good flash forces Nifty off the bomb, and because it's Smooya, he wants to try and chase him down, but Nifty wins the fight. So you can see they're all kind of fighting. Good Molotov lobbed over the edge there to try and separate the CTs pushing through that area of the map. And then also Gobby fighting the rest of his teammates. So very coordinated afterplan as well, especially that flashing the molly into CT to try and separate that take. It's an important thing to note, which you can obviously implement when trying to hold this down when you do have some kind of short take. Because if you'll go and hide, you're just going to get mollied and smoked off, and it's going to be a much easier defuse for the CT side. The last thing to talk about obviously is the timing. So you can see the progression smoke comes out at a similar time the players are pressuring towards CT. So it leaves the CTs kind of wondering where exactly this hit's going to come from. The Molotov onto site then also comes a little bit early, especially to force anyone to the ramp position, likely to maybe to rotate them towards long as you're trying to push them. The smoke comes out afterwards, followed by, of course, the 3 different flashes thrown. On the last one, or the second last one, sorry, the players start to push out, obviously trying to turn away from Gobby's, which is thrown as they reach this elbow point. The Molotov comes towards Goose, don't have to worry about that, and they basically hit the site. So the timing is not a huge factor here, but there is some basic timing you need to be aware of. So that's why I basically finished off showing you the overview of the take. Now the next short take I want to show you was one run by Faze at E-League. And again, short takes are relatively simple where you got your CT smoke in some regards, but Carrigan takes it to a different level with how he runs this strategy, and you're going to see it in a second. So just this little special thing, of course, the players do attack from short as you'd see in most short takes. What's going to happen basically is there's going to be this smoke for left side of middle, and then Nico's going to be the one obviously also smoking CT spawn before Carrigan flashes himself out into middle. You can see basically all information is designed from the CT side, and Carrigan can find himself in position and close to these boxes here. Now while this is going on, Rain has found himself coming up short, and he's going to jump down into CT with some utility thrown, which I'll show in a second, and you can see he's going to land as Carrigan comes through that smoke. So anyone playing in CT, no one is in this scenario. Unfortunately, this was the only run I could find that they did this, but if there's someone here, they can't kill both these players. They have to look one way or another, and they're almost certainly dead, presuming Rain gets down. So that's a nice little way, and of course, Rain's now going to push up, get control of this ramp area. And the other thing I really like about this strat is any CTs trying to retake this site, they're going to be in a hard spot right now because Carrigan's just going to sit himself in here. So where's Crim's going to go? Where's JW going to go? And you can see Carrigan's able to just peek out. And because you've got this CT control, it makes a retake almost impossible unless you want to run 5 players through long for the CT side. So that's one thing I really like about that strat. It's just a small little variation, and you're likely going to trade onto that guy in CT spawn. So you might lose a player, but you end up taking one down, and you've also got a whole lot more map control, making the rotation in through CT, as I already said, extremely difficult. So we've seen how Carrigan gets into CT, but what about Rain? Obviously, Fnatic playing quite heavy over here towards the A site, so obviously they did something right, getting him down into that pit position. But what ends up happening is obviously there's going to be the progression smoke onto short, which Rain is going to get behind, ready to jump over. Guardian just holding here, they're waiting for the timing of where Carrigan comes in towards middle, and he's going to be slowly walking out there in a second. This is how it's going to work. There's going to be a Molotov onto site. At the same time, a flash is thrown in the air, and Rain's just going to simply pop over the top like that, obviously trying to move the players before Guardian plays a more supportive element, looking over the site. Olofmeister starts to push out, and you see the timing of when they crunch onto this ramp position. Olofmeister's peeking now at the same time as Rain is now peeking this ramp position. So they've got a good crossfire there before eventually the player's going to have to push up and take out this short because the Goose Molotov didn't spread. So the player that flashed over the top, which was Olofmeister, also mollied Goose, while Guardian just Molotov the site. And you can see, yep, Olofmeister knows to pre-aim there. Obviously, Rain spotted him as well. and then you're going to set up their after plan. So that's actually a really simple short hit, but then this pressure towards middle and getting Karrigan into position is the big thing about this take, which I really like, which is why I want to show it to you, because it's a little mix-up, and I love all these little variations, which make it a lot less easy for the CT side to read exactly what is going on. But that is actually for this one, guys. As per usual, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content, and I'll of course catch you all in the next video.